98% of traders quit. They do not fail, they quit. And a lot of people cannot even tell you the real reason why. They'll tell you it's the strategy, they'll tell you it's the market, they'll tell you you didn't study enough or you didn't have the right system, right? And I'm telling you right now, that's not it, okay? I'm gonna tell you something today that most people in this trading space either don't know or they won't say, all right? The reason traders fail happens inside their nervous system. It may sound crazy, but just stay with me, all right? It doesn't kick in until the moment real money is on the line, right? So let me explain exactly what's happening to you, okay? Before you execute a trade, if you've ever really paying attention to this, you're fine. Your mind is calm. Your first instinct picks up a trade opportunity. You see it clearly. Everything looks right, okay? The second you click that button and you're in the trade, it's something just switches over, okay? And what's happening is your brain registers real money at risk as a threat, a genuine neurological threat response, then fires in your brain, in your system, your mental system, and the same response your brain uses when you're in physical danger is activated, okay? The moment that this happens, your conscious mind takes over the wheel. Now, instead of letting the trade work, you start thinking, you start second guessing, you start panicking, the anxiety hits, right? The stress hits, and you start making irrational decisions based on how you feel instead of what your process tells you to do. This is why you can't sit there, or you can sit there, I'm sorry, before a session and tell yourself, I'm not gonna move my stop loss, I'm not gonna add to a losing trade, I'm gonna follow my rules, right? And then within seconds of being in a trade, you do the exact thing you said you wouldn't do. It's not weakness, okay? It's not lack of discipline. It's a deeply rooted psychological pattern firing in your brain in real time. And I'm gonna prove it to you, okay? Here's the proof, right? That it's a nervous system thing. You take a trade and the pressure hits immediately. The panic, the anxiety, the overthinking is all there, right? The second that you get in. Within seconds you get out of the trade, the second you close it, the pressure lifts. You feel fine, you feel relaxed, you all of a sudden feel back clear. And then seconds later, you get right back in and that pressure is back just like that. In and out, in and out. The pressure follows the open trade like a switch being flipped on the wall, okay? That tells you everything. This is not about a strategy. This isn't about knowledge, but this is happening at the level of your nervous system and belief system. Now, let me tell you what's underneath that threat response, because there are two things feeding it, okay? Number one, your emotional attachment to money and to losing. For a lot of traders, losing money, it isn't just a number on a screen, okay? It's tied to something much deeper. Your background, your upbringing, what money meant in your household, what loss meant in your life, all right? I know this personally because where I came from, losing money wasn't abstract, okay? It was painful. It was personal. And honestly, for the first few years of my trading career, I carried that weight into every single trade. Number two, the fear of missing out. And this one is especially powerful when you're trading because you're trying to change your life, all right? And you feel like every opportunity you miss is a step backward. So you force trades, you rush entries, you stay in trades longer than you should because you don't want to miss the move. And Mark Douglas talks about this, in my opinion, better than anyone I've ever found. So if you haven't read Trading in the Zone, I need you to write that down and go get that book, right? But the core of what he says is this: most traders lose not because they can't read the market, but because of what's happening in their mind while they're in the trade. The beliefs you hold about money, about loss, about opportunity, those beliefs are running the show. And until you change them at the root level, all right, your behavior in the markets, it will keep reflecting those beliefs no matter what strategy you learn. Okay, so let me tell you what actually works. And this ain't gonna be any surface level stuff, not just stick to your rules like most people say, but I'm gonna tell you the real work because I had to go through this myself. Step one, right? You need to become radically self-aware of what's happening inside you, inside your mind while you're in a trade. I don't care about your pre-session routine. I don't care about your post-session review. What matters is what are you thinking, feeling, and doing while you are actively in a trade. That's where the work lives, okay? Here's a practical thing you can literally do, and I did this myself. Go get a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle, and make a T-chart. On the left side, write down every irrational thing you do when you're in a trade. Panic, move the stop loss, add to a losing position, close early, whatever your patterns are. Then on the right side of the paper, write the correct action. What should you actually be doing instead? Then you start to study that right side like it's the most important document you own, because it is. You need to read it before every session, read it after every session, read it until those correct behaviors start to override the old ones. And if you do this long enough, you'll begin to become self-aware while you're actively trading that the right thing to do will start to pop up even after the thought of doing the wrong thing. You just have to catch it in time. All right? Because what you're doing is you're reprogramming, and you're literally rewriting the automatic responses that fire when the pressure hits. Step 2, you need to go to the root of your beliefs, right? And you got to ask yourself hard questions like, why do I hate losing so much? This is a big one for me. Why do I feel like I'm going to miss out? What does losing money, actually mean to me, and where does it come from? Okay. You need to write those answers down, and don't rush it, but you just need to sit with it. Give it some time, think on it. And what you'll find is a belief system underneath the behavior. And that's what actually has to change, okay, in order for you to see different results in your performance and trade. And now the last thing, step 3, is you're going to have to learn how to move from a scarcity to abundance mentality. This one really, really did shift everything for me, because I used to feel like every trade I missed was gone forever. I used to, like opportunity was just running out. And that feeling made me rush, force, and overtrade, okay? But after some time of trading, I came to the realization like, hey, every single time I thought I missed a trade, the market gave me another opportunity. Like sometimes within minutes, sometimes the next day, or sometimes the next session. So I can't miss out on something that never runs out. The opportunity in these markets is infinite. It's never going away. There's always another setup, always another session, always another day. And once that landed at a real level, not just intellectually me saying it, but in my mind and my body, when I really embodied that understanding, the urgency went away. The forcing went away, Russian trades, all that went away. And I started waiting for the right trades instead of just chasing any trade. Okay, it gave me a lot of patience. And on the loss side, I had to come to terms with probability. Again, Mark Douglas's book talks about this. Out of 100 trades, I'm not going to win all 100, right? Maybe I win 60, maybe 70, and that's enough, as long as my risk management is solid. All right. Those wins are going to cover the losses, and still I could come out profitable like that. Once you truly accept that losing is not failure, it's just a part of the distribution, the emotional charge around the loss starts to dissolve. Okay. So that's just what I want to share with you on that, right? This is the work that nobody talks about, and it's the work that actually separates the traders who make it from the ones who don't. It's not the strategy, okay? It was never the strategy. It's not the strategy. It's never the strategy. It's who you are, and when the money is real, the trade is live and the pressure is on, okay? That's where trading is really won or it's lost. So I suggest that you do the T-chart, ask the hard questions, study your own mind the way you study the market, because here's the truth. The market is not your problem. You are. And that's actually good news, because you can always change you.